I think with BYP 100, we've always have had women leadership. The same thing, same way Dream Defenders has. And I think the like Black queer feminists as the lens that the organization has decided to also adopt really adds on to the higher expectations that people come in with for the organization. So they're also expecting this like super unapologetic, liberated space that people can just be any kind of thing and be and do any kind of person. And it's like, because we're one of very few national organizations that is accepting and welcoming of young Black folks, but especially young Black, queer, and trans folks, it's a lot of expectations around what exactly we will be doing. I think being the babies of and growing up in this new iteration of like neoliberalism in particular, it really diffuses what you see as possible in the organizing already. And so it gets diluted to being all about representation, to being all about, which is like the identity without the politics, like all about representation, or it's about having access to things that the government should actually be providing, but instead the government is providing less social safety nets. Philanthropy is blown up, and then philanthropy becomes the replacement for the social safety nets that the government should be providing. And therefore, because philanthropy gives to organizations, we should also be the other kinds of social safety nets for people. And then it's about language, which I think like language is important, powerful in its own way. And being clear about the type of language and the type of like like the words that we use and how do we use them, like all of that is all fine, well, and good. And it doesn't change the dynamics of who is in power. And so I think like folks are coming into our organizations, into organizing with just that: representation, access, language. Like those are the things that have to change and grow, and then freedom. And it's a really hard uphill battle to be the person that folks know that is in the position of power to say yes or no to any of those things. And it is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, for sure. And again, I thought I was going to come in and take all of my great organizing skills and all of my great relationships and like build this mass organization of just like, we were just going to be the training camp for this like radical Black generation of young people. And in a lot of ways, our organizations are that, more than a lot of places. And like, it still feels like we have done so little. We have done so little, because I literally had a conversation with one of our members maybe 2 weeks ago, and we went on a delegation. We went as part of a delegation to Cuba for May Day. And it was us and 150 other young activists from the US, or from North America in particular, that were going to Cuba. And we took around 10 of our members as part of this delegation. And one of the things that happened was, I'll try to be quick with this story. One of the things that happened was that one of the members, you in the Caribbean, it's day one in Cuba. We go to one of the like friendship houses or whatever, and we're all handed a drink. Now, of course, this drink has rum in it because we're in the Caribbean. And it's just part of the hospitality, but this person didn't know. They have been 4 years sober. They accidentally drank a drink. So they're having a moment. I didn't know. I walked over to everybody, all of my members, and I'm checking on them, seeing how they're doing. And that's when they tell me that they accidentally, and I'm like, oh, damn, I'm sorry that happened. Like, do you need anything? And they're like, no, I'm good. I got, I'm probably just going, go for a walk and process, whatever. Okay, cool. So I'm like, okay, well, let me know if you need anything. And, just so you know, we in the Caribbean. So anytime you are handing a drink, we're going to be here for another 9 days. Anytime you handed a drink, it might have liquor in it. Just ask, see if there's some alternatives, get some water, whatever. I kept it pushing. I mean, like literally, we came back, and this was like 2 weeks ago. So this is like a whole month after the trip. And they're like, yeah, Didi, I feel like you were unhelpful. They were like, as far as directors go, I feel like you were unhelpful to me in that moment. And I'm like, what did you want me to do? Did you want me to pump it out of your stomach? What did you want me to do? And they're like, well, it would have been nice if you would have offered to go on a walk. And I was like, what? 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 And it's you know, it's things like that where I'm like, well, I did tell you to let me know if you needed anything, but there was an additional piece that is like, oh, you wanted me to actually be your mom in that moment, to not only say, well, let me know if you need anything, to offer 12 things that I can do in that moment in order to comfort you. And you didn't actually need it, you just wanted me to offer it. And that is, it is the thing that makes this job incredibly challenging. And it makes it like, who the hell would want to be a leader if that is the kind of thing? And then for them to also couple it with their perception of how I should show up as a leader is, it is misogyny. Like it is complete, like it is absolute misogyny. And this is an organization that always talks about being Black queer feminists and abolitionists and da 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 da. And like Rachel said, really getting to like some of these conversations of like, no, how do we practice misogyny and patriarchy in our everyday interactions with each other, but also like, if you are thinking, you know, if you are thinking about me in this way, I can only imagine how you're thinking about the other Black women in your life and what they are expected to do in your head. And it's just a lot of it that really is just like laborious and really makes it, and it's not, and we aren't actually facing any attacks from the right, from our opposition, from the white supremacists, from the Trumpies. Like it is all internal. The struggles that make this role really hard, and makes being a leader in general, and organizing really, really, really hard.